Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin, the Venice Film Festival, and I bring you a man who's having a love affair with this festival, Alfonso Cuarón. It is your fourth time being here with a movie. What is it about Venice that...
It's been my home. It's been an amazing experience every time that I'm here. I feel welcome. I'm very grateful.
So let's see, you got this movie, Roma, ironically called with Venice. You wrote it, you directed it, you edited it, you produced it, you were the director of photography. The movie is based on your life. So tell me, is this a personal movie to you?
It is, I have to say, it's as personal as I can go. In the sense that I have dealt with, I guess that every director deals autobiographically in very oblique ways in their films, thematically, and in Tu Mamá También it was a bit more evident, but still kind of oblique and creating a fiction. In this film, every single scene, 90% of the scenes are come out of my memory. I reproduce the house is exact replica of my childhood house. We gather 70% of the original furniture, and the cast is identical to the people 40, 50 years ago. Every single location we shot is the location where the scenes took place. It was like an obsession about trying to go back into those days and just shoot it with modern technology.
But let me ask you in reference to that. So the very first day of filming, you're walking back into basically your childhood home with all the childhood memories and furniture there, people representing you and your family. How emotional does it get? Or do you desensitize to it and say, I'm just a filmmaker?
Well, that is so interesting you ask that, because you arrive the first day and you're always kind of problem solving. You're dealing with a lot of things, and you start, and I shot in absolute continuity. So you start from the very first shot, and you are trying to from the very first shot, get into the language that you're going to tell. So you have a lot of concerns, and I was always trying to go back to my memory, but it was kind of distant and abstract. And it took me a couple of weeks in which it hit to me how emotional the experience had been, or was being. Sometimes very painful, I have to admit. And yeah, it was an intense experience, is all I can say.
Well, I've got to ask you this, just to kind of clear the air. Is your mother really that bad of a driver?
Yes, well, no, you know what? She was a good driver. It's just that I think that car represented the male figure and also represented the husband. The husband takes care of that car, as you can see in the film, in a way that is almost chirurgic when he parks the car. And then, this woman just decides to crush it every single time, and probably it was kind of unconscious, or I don't know, but I have to say, remember, I have the reason those scenes are there is because I was there, and I remember, being with my siblings, and we're in the street, and we are just seeing that she's going to get into these two trucks, and we're like, hey mom, and she used to say pew 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 pew, and then you see the car crash, but on both sides. Later on I understood the reason, or the unconscious reason why she was doing it.
And I have to ask you this, Alfonso, is watching this movie, as beautiful as it is a reference to your own childhood, it's a love letter to Cleo and to what she represented. And for a lot of people out there who have domestic help in some capacity, they're the forgotten warriors. They're people that we just kind of barely acknowledge. And you kind of focus on her. So talk about that memory and casting an unknown actress to fulfill that memory.
Well, Cleo, the real life Cleo is kind of my surrogate mother. She's part of my family. We are family, and her daughter is like my niece. We live, she still is part of my family to the extent that lives with my sister. You know, it's and in many ways she had not unlike many experiences of families that they have a nanny or domestic worker. Sometimes they even have more presence than the real mother, you know, and they have sometimes a more affectional connection with the children than the real mother. So that was, yeah, I have to say that the point of departure it was a love letter to her, but also trying to understand a little bit her, because as a child you gave everything for granted, and then I started switching into that her life. It was a completely different experience, because there was also the class barrier and the race barrier, you know, and I wanted to understand her experience. In order to do that, I wanted to be as honest as possible, and I wanted to cast a person who would be from the region, you know, and with the same or similar ethnic qualities than her. The original Cleo, she's from Zapoteca heritage, and so is Yalitza. So it was that kind of approach.
Well, I have to congratulate you on the movie. And just really quick, which of the sons are you?
I'm the second one.
Oh, the second one. Okay.
Yeah,
so
the one that is jerk with the little one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alfonso Cuarón, as always, thank you so much. It's been our pleasure. And this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.